Alright, today let's see how your day would be if you were the shadow thief. You wake up at 4 p.m., the sun already dipping low enough to signal your shift is about to begin. You aren't a common street thug. You are a technician of the night. Your kit is laid out, lockpicks, signal jammers, and non-slip boots. You feel a familiar hum of anxiety and excitement in your chest, knowing that tonight's target is the biggest score of your career. But in the true crime world, the biggest score often comes with the biggest price. You spend the next hour reviewing your blueprints. This isn't just a house, it's a fortress in the hills. You've watched the owners for weeks, a wealthy tech executive and his wife, who leave for their gala at exactly 8 p.m. You memorize the patrol routes of the private security firm and the blind spots of the high-definition cameras. Every detail matters when you're playing a game where the loser goes to a maximum security cell. You check your reflection, seeing a face that looks utterly ordinary, the perfect mask for a predator. At 7:30 p.m., you drive your nondescript gray sedan into the affluent neighborhood. You don't park near the house. That's a rookie mistake. Instead, you find a public park 3 blocks away and blend in. You sit there, watching the families walk their dogs, feeling like a ghost among the living. You check your watch every 30 seconds. When the clock strikes 8, you see the target's black SUV pull out of the driveway on your remote monitor. The stage is set, and the actors have left the building. You approach the perimeter fence under the cover of a moonless sky. This is where most people would get caught. But you have a specialized frequency jammer that temporarily blinds the motion sensors. You vault over the wrought iron with the grace of an athlete. Your heart is pounding against your ribs, a rhythmic reminder of the risk. You're inside the grounds now. The grass is damp with dew, muffling your footsteps as you navigate through the meticulously manicured garden, keeping to the shadows cast by the tall hedges. The back patio is a death trap of glass and sensors. You crouch behind a marble statue, watching the infrared beams through your specialized goggles. It's a laser grid straight out of a movie, but you know the bypass code for the external control panel. You slide a thin copper wire into the terminal, heart racing. For 3 seconds, the system flickers, a window of opportunity. You move with surgical precision, sliding through the gap just as the security light cycles back to green. Picking a lock is a conversation between you and the mechanism. You feel the pins set one by one, click, click, click. The final turn feels like a heavy weight lifting off your shoulders. You slip inside, the air conditioning hitting you with a cold, sterile blast. The house smells of expensive candles and polished wood. You immediately freeze, listening. The house is silent, yet it feels heavy, as if the walls themselves are watching you. You pull out your flashlight, its beam a narrow needle of light in the oppressive darkness. You move through the kitchen toward the main hallway. You aren't here for the silverware or the electronics. You're here for the safe behind the painting in the study. Your boots make no sound on the hardwood floors. You pass a wall of family photos, smiling faces that have no idea a stranger is walking through their sanctuary. It's a surreal feeling, being the invisible intruder in someone else's life. You reach the study door and find it slightly ajar. You push it open, the hinges letting out a faint, ghostly groan. The study is a library of leather-bound books and mahogany. You find the painting, a generic landscape, and swing it aside to reveal the wall safe. This is the moment of truth. You use a digital cracker, a device that cycles through thousands of combinations per second. The red numbers on the screen blur. Your eyes are fixed on the door, ears straining for any sound from the street. Then, a soft thunk echoes through the room. The safe is open. Inside lies a king's ransom in bearer bonds and uncut diamonds. You begin to bag the loot, your fingers moving with practiced efficiency. You feel a sense of triumph. This is enough to retire on. But then you hear it. A floorboard creaks upstairs. Your blood turns to ice. The owner shouldn't be back for hours. You check your watch. It's only 8:45 p.m. You realize with a jolt of terror that you didn't account for someone staying behind. A guest, a sick child, a nanny. You stop breathing, trying to blend into the shadows of the bookshelf, as heavy footsteps move across the ceiling above you. The footsteps are getting closer to the stairs. You have two choices: run for the back door and risk being seen, or hide and hope they don't come into the study. You opt for the latter, sliding into the narrow gap behind the heavy velvet curtains. You hear the light switch in the hallway flip. A sliver of light cuts across the floor of the study. Your heart is beating so hard you're sure the intruder can hear it. A man's voice calls out, "Is someone there?" It's the owner. He's come back early. The owner enters the study. He's not wearing a tuxedo. He's in a bathrobe, looking tired. He must have stayed home sick while his wife went to the gala. He moves toward the desk, only inches away from your hiding spot. He notices the painting is askew. You see his back stiffen. He reaches for the phone on the desk, his hand trembling. You know if he makes that call, your life as a free man is over. Panic, a blind and primal force, takes hold of your senses. You step out from behind the curtain. The man screams, a sound that shreds the silence of the house. He lunges at you, not with the grace of a fighter, but with the desperation of a man protecting his home. You try to push him away, to just get to the door, but he's stronger than he looks. You tumble to the floor, a chaotic mess of limbs and broken furniture. You reach for your heavy flashlight, using it as a blunt instrument. You hit him once, twice, trying to make him let go. The third time he goes limp, and the screaming stops abruptly. Silence returns to the room, but it's a different kind of silence now. It's heavy, suffocating. You roll off the man and scramble to your feet. He's lying face down on the Persian rug, a dark stain beginning to spread beneath his head. You check for a pulse, your hands shaking so violently you can barely find his wrist. Nothing. In a matter of seconds, you've gone from a high-stakes thief to a murderer. The room feels like it's spinning. The diamonds in your bag suddenly feel like lead weights, dragging you down into an abyss. The shadow thief is gone. Now there is only a panicked man in a room with a corpse. You realize you've left DNA everywhere. You didn't wear a hairnet. You weren't wearing a mask when he saw you. You start wiping down every surface you might have touched with feverish intensity. You wipe the safe, the desk, the door handle. Your mind is screaming at you to run, but your training tells you that if you leave a single fingerprint, the police will be at your door by morning. You are cleaning a crime scene while your soul withers. You grab the bag of loot and the man's phone, realizing it might have a GPS trail. You stumble out of the back door, the cold night air hitting your face like a slap. The garden that felt like a playground earlier now feels like a gauntlet. Every rustle of the leaves is a siren. Every shadow is a policeman waiting to pounce. You climb the fence, catching your sleeve on a spike and leaving a scrap of fabric behind. You don't stop to retrieve it. You run through the woods, your lungs burning, until you reach your car. The drive back is a blur of red lights and paranoia. You drive exactly the speed limit, terrified that a simple traffic stop will end your life. You look in the rearview mirror and see a monster staring back, a man who killed for a bag of stones. You get back to your apartment and lock the door with 4 different deadbolts. You dump the diamonds onto your kitchen table, but they don't sparkle anymore. They look like cold, hard pieces of glass. You sit in the dark, waiting for the sun to come up, waiting for the sirens. Morning comes, and with it, the news. The headline flashes across your television. Tech CEO found dead in apparent robbery gone wrong. They show a picture of the man you killed. He had a wife, 2 daughters, and a dog. You see the police tape surrounding the beautiful house you invaded. The reporter mentions that forensic teams are processing evidence left at the scene. Your stomach churns. That scrap of fabric, a hair, a partial print, you realize that the perfect crime is a myth, and you are living in the reality of the aftermath. Days turn into a week of agonizing suspense. You can't sell the diamonds, they're too hot. You can't leave town, it would look suspicious. You spend your time scrubbing your apartment, burning your clothes, and jumping at every sound in the hallway. You've lost 10 pounds. Your eyes are bloodshot from lack of sleep. You start to realize that the prison isn't just a building with bars. It's the 4 walls of your own mind. You are trapped by your own guilt and the knowledge that the clock is ticking. At 3 a.m. on the 8th day, the sound you've been dreading finally comes. Not a knock, but a thunderous crash as your front door is kicked off its hinges. Police, get on the ground. The room is flooded with the blinding white light of tactical flashlights. You don't even try to run. You fall to your knees, arms raised. In a strange way, it's a relief. The weight of the secret was too much to carry. As the zip ties bite into your wrists, you see the lead detective holding a plastic bag containing a small scrap of blue fabric. You sit in the back of the patrol car, watching your apartment building fade into the distance. You'll spend the rest of your life in a concrete box, haunted by the image of a man in a bathrobe on a Persian rug. You thought you were the shadow thief, a master of the night who could take whatever he wanted without consequence. But the truth is, once you step into the darkness eventually steps into you. Your day ends not with a score, but with a life sentence. And that is how your day would be if you were the shadow thief.